All right, everybody, thanks for joining us here today. We're going to go over some tips and tricks for Copymatic. I am going to give a couple minutes here for a few more people to filter in. There's always some people straggling, and there's still people joining right now. So I am going to just give it a couple of minutes before we go right into it. This is a pretty fast moving presentation. I'm going to get right to the meat of what I think will give you guys the best experience here at Copymatic. But in the meantime, while we're waiting for other people, please feel free to use the chat. Tell us where you're from. Albert's from Belgium. Hey, Albert, how's it going? I'm here in what's usually sunny Florida in the United States, but it is a little dreary, and we are about to get the coldest Christmas we've had in my memory. So we got Puerto Rico. We got, oh, I love Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. Beautiful, beautiful place. Mohammed from Iraq, how you doing? Thanks for joining. Hello from India, Thailand. We got people from all over the place here. We got more Florida too. That's great. Nigeria. Wow, we're kind of all over the map here. So I am sure it is late night for some of you guys over there. Thanks so much for staying up and joining us. Brazil here. Sorry about the World Cup. Denver, Colorado. Very cool. All right, just another minute or so here, and then we'll get started. People usually take about 4 or 5 minutes to get in, but we're just going to get started here in just a minute here. All right. California, that's cool. Malaysia too. I'm glad you're excited, Ismail. I'm excited to show you what I got here. All right, let's go ahead and jump into it. It's a couple minutes past the hour, so that gives, give people a couple minutes to get in here. I'm sure more will trickle in, but all right, we're going to go over some tips and tricks for using Copymatic to generate high quality content. My name is Joe Knipp. I'm an account executive here at Copymatic. That is an AI generated image of me. Not exactly quite what I really look like, but all right, so this is what we're going to go over in this quick webinar here. We're going to use Copymatic to generate high quality content. I'm going to go over some of the tools for you. I'm going to go over the article generator, the blog post writer, to show you what those differences are between those. That's one of the most common questions that we get. Smart editor, we'll dig into that. That's a new fun tool. The image generator is a really fun, addicting new tool as well. Along the way, I will discuss some SEO. I know a lot of you guys are using Copymatic for SEO purposes, so I'll give you a few SEO tips and tricks, and then I'll show you the brand new Copymatic Chrome extension. And then once we get through that, we'll have a quick question and answer, and I will do my best to answer everybody's questions. A lot of times the answer to the questions with this AI stuff is give it a try. It's, generative AI. I can't always predict what's going to happen if you do X, Y, or Z, but, specific questions about how the tools work and stuff like that, we can certainly get into. I do want to show you this just in case you can't make the whole Webby. We do have a promo code for you to save you some money. If you're on a trial of Copymatic here, this will save you 50% off your first month and make it a little easier to dig in and really try the tool. So I will bring that back up later, but that is a promo code that will save you some money. But all right, let's dig into the tools a little bit. So I'm going to start here with the article generator. This is one of the most popular tools here. I've got some content prepared here so you guys don't have to watch me type the whole time. I'm going to write an article about how artificial intelligence helps businesses increase productivity. My focus keyword here is going to be, caps lock, artificial intelligence. Now, it's important to note this focus keyword, what this is doing here is it's going to inform the SEO analysis of this article. So keep that in mind. You don't want to stuff a bunch of keywords that you want written in the article, because that's not the purpose of this. Only put 1 or 2 in here. Okay, so now we've got our article title, we've got our focus keyword, and we've got some subheadings here. Now we can have it write subheadings for us, or we can write our own. Obviously, the purpose of using these tools is often to have it write for you. So I'm going to click on write subheadings for me. And it'll take just a second here. And now basically what's happened is it has generated an outline for the article. Here are the subsections that will be in the article. Now, I know one of the common questions we get here is about how do I write longer content? Because, you know, a lot of times this will create something in the 1,000-word range by default. Well, if you add more subheadings and kind of structure your article that way, that's how you can write longer articles. From an SEO perspective, it's much better to have more subheadings than jam more content in each of the subheadings. But everything with SEO is kind of subjective. It's all, you know, if there's a lot of content that fits the subheading, great, go for it. But anyways, I'm going to have this write my article now. One of the first things it'll do, it's going to find some pictures related to the topic over here. And you can, these are all royalty free. You can click on these, download them, save them, use them for your article. I'll also show you how in another tool you can pull these in, you know, right into the article. On the article generator, you currently cannot. At some point, it will allow you to close this pop-up. What I would encourage you to do is if you close that pop-up, you can scroll up and down. I wouldn't click around too much in the content yet because there's some quirks where it might start writing the content in the wrong place. So just kind of keep that in mind. Let this finish writing under its last subheading before you really start clicking around. It's okay to, you know, scroll and start reading, but don't click around here. All right, but you saw like how quickly it wrote me a 964-word article. You know, obviously the productivity of that is just amazing. So now you would want to dig in and kind of, you know, massage the article, make sure it's what you want it to be. And there's a few things you can do for that. One of the things I can do, let's say I like the content of this paragraph, but I'd like it to be written in a different way. I can highlight the content I want to be rewritten, and this paraphrase button will show up down here. So if I click this, what it's going to do now is give me an option of a new you know, version of that same content. Essentially, it's a rewritten version of the same content. So the original's here up top, down on the bottom is the other one. If let's say I don't quite love that yet, maybe I could hit paraphrase again, and it's going to replace this bottom one with a new version again. And I'm not going to go through and read all this right now for the purposes of this webinar, but let's say, okay, I like this second one better. All I have to do is click replace text and boom, it is in my article like that. So that's really great. A couple more things you could do. There's, if I click here again, wherever the cursor is, you've got an option for write more or generate. Write more is essentially going to continue the thought of what was written last here, of this last sentence or that last paragraph. Generate is going to generate new paragraphs based on the subheading that it's under. So here's another example of, let's say, okay, I didn't necessarily love this content here. I could get rid of it. Click here again, right under there, and then I can click generate, and now that's going to generate me new paragraphs under that same heading. So this is kind of a way to massage your article and get the you know, content as good as possible, as giving you, you know, new versions of content under this subheading here. So that's some cool tools you can do there. One more I want to show you real quick is, and also please keep in mind, this help button is always very helpful. That's what it's there for. So if I click on this, it'll remind you more of what I've just talked about with the generate button, the write more button, and the paraphrase. But there's also this cool trick here where you can do Command J or Control J on a PC. So let's say I'll just create a space here. I'm going to hit Command J because I'm on a Mac. It now pops up this Copymatic command window. So I can run a predefined command or I can run a custom command. So, you know, under custom command, I could say, you know, write me a haiku about artificial intelligence or something like that. And it's going to do its best to generate the content based on the command that I've put in there. Under predefined commands, you've got all sorts of things here. You know, write an answer to the question, write a paragraph of content about, all these cool things. But I want to show you a neat little SEO trick real quick. So I like this write an answer to the question command. So let me hop in Google real quick, and I'm going to search artificial intelligence. And so one thing that you'll almost always find is this people also ask section in Google. And this is basically Google letting you know, if people are searching for this, these are the other types of questions they're asking. So this is essentially Google's topic tree. the more that you're answering these questions in your content, the more authority your article and your website will have for this main keyword here. What's really cool, another thing you can do is if I click on this, question, what you probably didn't see there though, is it populated 2 more questions related to the question I opened up. So let's try it again. I click on what is the main idea of artificial intelligence. Now I've got a couple more questions here. So this is how you can kind of continue to go down the Google topic tree rabbit hole for any particular keyword and get more ideas. These are the questions your content should be answering if you want to build authority for SEO for a particular keyword. So, search your main keyword, and then you can search longer tail keywords and just, keep finding out what questions are people asking Google, because if you're answering those questions, then there's a better shot that Google will provide your website as a result. So hopefully that makes sense. But what I wanted to show you here in Copymatic is, let me copy this question. What are the 5 types of artificial intelligence? And I'm on my run a predefined command, write an answer to the question. I'm going to paste that question in there. And now when I click on this, it's going to generate content that is an answer to this particular question. And it'll take a second here. But you see, it even created a numbered list for me. So what are the 5 types of AI? And then it generated this. So now again, you could kind of QC this and make sure that you really like it. But let's say I love it. I'm going to go ahead and insert it into my article. And now I know I've answered that question that Google says is important for, or that other people are asking essentially. So keep that in mind. That's a real important tool, that Command J, or if you're on a PC, it is Control J. And always keep an eye out for this help bar over here. But okay, since we're talking about SEO a little bit, let's look at this SEO score. This is based on, again, what I said, that keyword that I placed here. So it is reading the keyword artificial intelligence and providing a score for this article based on that. 66 out of 100 is actually really good. I would tell you it's not worth trying to get this to 100 all of the time. You really should, don't get too caught up on that. Anything 40 and higher is really pretty good. But if you want to know how to increase that score, you can click on this content analysis drop down here. And what it does is provide you a bunch of checks, and then you'll see some X's. So the checks is, that's things that I have satisfied as far as the SEO criteria that our SEO score is looking for. Now the X's are not. So this is saying my keyword density is 0.61%. And it's X'd out because it wants the keyword density to be higher. But here's one of the things to really, especially with this particular keyword I use, since I used artificial intelligence, that tool is not necessarily recognizing that AI is also artificial intelligence. So that's why I say it's not, you really don't have to get crazy about getting this to 100. Just try to get it, 40, 50, 60 is great. A couple other things worth mentioning. Use a minimum of 5 links. It hasn't created any links in here, so that's always going to be an X. Now you can go in here. I could click on something like this. I can click this link up here and add in copymatic.ai. And now I've created a link in there. So I could go through this article and start adding my links, or once I copy it into my CRM or wherever I'm posting my content, that is, that's how you get links. For SEO purposes, you should be linking 2 or 3 times to your own content, to other articles on your page, to other pages that are relevant to the article you've written. And you should link 2 or 3 times to external pages that are authoritative sources for that particular information. There's no hard and fast rule. There's no perfect number of links within an article. A lot of people might say it depends on how many words. The more words you have, maybe the more links you would have. But if you link 2 or 3 times to your own content, 2 or 3 times to outside sources that are authorities on this subject, that will do well for optimizing your article for SEO. You've also got this plagiarism rate is less than 5%. We do have a plagiarism checker here. So I could click checking plagiarism. And its plagiarism rate is 2%, which is very good. You can try to rewrite it to make 100% original, but it is worth noting anything below 5% is really good. Between 5 and 10 is reasonable. If you're over 10%, you really need to work on the article and try to get there. So let's see here. Let me now dive into another tool and show you. I see you guys are asking some questions. I will get to these. Wikipedia, I guess it's an authoritative site. I don't think it's the best thing to link to because it's open source and edited that way. I would maybe not use it as a common source that you're linking to, but I don't think it would kill you to link to it every once in a while. So, all right, so let me now show you, that was the article generator. If I go back to all tools here, I will now show you the blog post writer and show you the differences between the two tools. So once again, I'm going to pull in my same title here. And I've got some different, again, I can put in my keyword artificial intelligence. And what this is just a different workflow for accomplishing kind of the same goal of writing an article. So if you remember how article generated worked, the next step would have been to create the subheadings. Well, here, if let's say you have your own title and your own subheadings, you could use this tool and maybe go about it in a different way. So I can paste in my actual title there. Next, it's going to ask me if I want to generate an intro paragraph or if I want to write my own. Well, the whole point of this is obviously I want this to do as much of the work as possible. So I'm going to go ahead and generate the intro. And what it does here is give me options now that I can insert into the article. So this is where the workflow is a bit different. As before, it kind of just generated you that whole article, and then you'd have to work from there. Here, it's letting me preview options and then insert them into the article. So now, once again, I can generate outline, or I could write my own. For the purposes of this webinar, I'm just going to go ahead and generate my own. It is a good idea to kind of to consider writing your own too. The more, again, especially if you want to write longer form content, preparing those subheadings and even looking at what I was talking about with Google, with those people also ask questions, by preparing topic subheadings that fit those, that can improve your SEO. But for this purpose, I'm going to have it generate my outlines for me. So I'll just click that there. And then what it does is gives me, again, options. So each line is a subheading. So let's say, okay, I like this one. Then it asks me, does it want me to generate the paragraphs of text for each of the subheadings? And yes, I would like it to do that. And so now you'll see the interface is a little bit different. It's going to generate each of these sections that we've created. It's real simple to move sections too. If I want this section to be down here, it is now moved down there. If I want to move it back up, I can do that as well. It's finished generating the article already. So I have all my different sections, but again, if I wanted to expand the article, I could add, another section here. And then again, I could move this up or down so it fit where it needed to be. But yeah, so this is just a different workflow. You do have these options here where I could click write more or generate. It does the same thing here. Write more will finish the thought. Generate will generate new paragraphs based on the subheading here. You do have the option, I forgot to show you this in the article generator, but it's a similar thing there. I can save this content and then it'll be available in my content, or I can export it and I can either copy just the text or I can copy the HTML code. So whatever fits your needs best is what you're going to want to choose there. So yeah, that is how the blog post writer works, and that's how it kind of varies from the article generator. As you saw there, it kind of gave you options for text to then insert to the article. So it kind of generated several versions and then said, okay, you pick your, which subheadings, title you like the best and stuff like that. So pretty cool tool there. Let me get back to the dashboard real quick. All right, so next, what I want to show you is the Smart Editor tool. So you name your article. I'm just going to go ahead and name it the same thing I've been working on here. That's going to now become the title of the article. So this tool, what it does here is gives you access to all of our different tools. Anything you click on here, it's going to give you the prompts related to that tool. So if I wanted to create a how it works, now I would fill this out and I've got a how it works, content. If I wanted to use a custom command, a paragraph writer, all this kind of stuff. But for this purpose, let's just say we're generating a blog post again. That was my title. So I could have used blog titles here, but I've already generated one. So now I'll go to blog intro, and you'll see it pulls in the title automatically. And then it asks you, what is the article about, just to give more context for what it would write about. So let's say, how AI is helping businesses and be more productive. So I'm basically rewriting the same thing. There's different examples of this. Obviously, you know, the more thought you put into this, the better content you're getting out. I'm just doing this fairly quickly for the purpose of the webinar. But here now I can generate this, and what it's going to do is generate my intro for me. Now, once again, let's say I like the idea, but I want to paraphrase it, meaning I want it to be rewritten. So I click on this button down here. It'll give me my two options. Let's say I do like the second option. Once again, I can replace the text there. So now I could come back to my tools, and I could go to blog outlines. Oh, I should have copied that one. I'm just going to use the title. So once I click on this, again, it pulled in my title, and then you should really probably, I'm being lazy here, but I'm just trying to show you guys how this works. But anyway, so now it's generated my subheadings again. So I could come in here and then start to say, okay, I want to just generate a paragraph related to that subheading, and I could craft my article this way. So once again, it's just a different workflow, same kind of goal. But this tool, the biggest difference in the Smart Editor is I could do anything I want with this. I could get rid of all this content, and, you know, I could use this as a scratch pad for, you know, website headlines and subheaders and website content. I could start building all that out. If I wanted to work on meta descriptions, you can do that as well. If I wanted to build a frequently asked questions or any of this kind of thing, pricing feature, we have, you know, over 80 different tools that you can access in here. And I really kind of suggest try out some of these really cool tools here. It'll really help you take your content to the next level that way. So that's the Smart Editor. Hope that clears up how that works for you. Next, I want to show you the image generator. So if I'm here and I go to more tools, I can click on the image generator. And if you haven't seen this yet, it's a real fun, it can be a super addicting tool. When I start here, if I click write me an example, what it's going to do is actually just write out this description that's kind of preset in there. So I'm going to go ahead and have it write the example for me. So in this case, it's going to generate an image of an astronaut driving a futuristic car on the surface of the moon. And now you've got all sorts of options here. I've got realistic and fictional. These help tips are really helpful for understanding how this stuff works. So realistic is going to perform better for real objects, humans or dogs, that kind of stuff. It has a stricter content policy. So that means you really shouldn't, I don't think it'll let you type celebrities' names in there, things like that. Fictional will perform better with fictional characters, arts, drawing, stuff like that. So let's do realistic. For style, you've got all sorts of different things: 3D render, abstract, you know, all the way down to vaporwave. So there's different kinds of styles of art you can have it generate. I'm going to leave it at none just to let it choose what it wants to do. Medium, you can have all these different mediums that it'll come out as. You can even have it mimic an artist here. You know, Andy Warhol or South Park, Van Gogh, whatever you want to do. You've got moods to inform, you know, what kind of image you're going to get, and different details. So is it a close-up? Is it a black and white, high resolution, all that kind of stuff. I'm just going to leave these default. This right here is going to determine how many images it will generate. So I'm going to go ahead and generate a couple images here. And there you go. That is an astronaut driving a futuristic car on the moon. So, you know, a couple different options there. These are all for your, you know, you can use them for whatever you want because they are originally generated using this tool here. So that is how the image generator works. You pull up the image generator in the Smart Editor, and it'll automatically insert it into your content as well. So, all right, let's see. So yeah, last thing I wanted to get to is I want to show you our brand new Copymatic Chrome extension. So if you click on what's new when you're in Copymatic, you'll see this over here, and that will take you to the Chrome store where you can download and install it. And it's a super cool tool. For example, let's say I'm on LinkedIn, and I could write a LinkedIn post using this tool. You'll see here with the extension installed, I can now access Copymatic, my Copymatic account, through the Chrome extension. So it'll pop up and say, what do I want to write about? Or it has all these different tools. So there is actually a LinkedIn post tool. I'm going to target marketers. And what's this post about? It's about the rapidly advancing technologies behind artificial intelligence. For this purpose, I'm going to set, for this particular tool, I'm going to set the output to 1. I just wanted to generate 1 article, and especially it'll save some time here for what we're doing. And then, so what it'll do is generate that content for me. I can then insert it, and I've got the start or whatever I want to do with a post in LinkedIn. So, and again, that was just by using that Copymatic Chrome extension. You can also pop into something like Google Docs, and it's all the way down here in the corner. But if I click the Copymatic logo, I can just use Google Docs and access all of the Copymatic tools and use this as my editor if I want. So it makes the Chrome extension super, super useful, and you can kind of do whatever you want with it there. So hopefully that was helpful for you guys. That's what I've got for a presentation. I see there's some questions here. I will do my best to get to them, but please go ahead and drop your questions in the question and answer and not the chat, just so I can kind of keep it a little bit organized. First question is, how does it reference sources used? And I'm wondering if you're saying, does it give citations? And the answer is no, it does not provide citations for sources used. The sources used are essentially just a giant database of just a massive database of content is where it's doing this, but it's all generative. So it's not necessarily grabbing specifically from a source that needs to be cited. Nonprofit rates, I don't believe we do. I am not familiar with anything for nonprofit rates. We do have that promo code that could help you out for this particular webinar. Let me get back and put that back on the screen here. This is the promo code. This will save you 50% off your first month of Copymatic. How is this software better than ChatGPT? I don't know that I would say that it's better or worse. We have a lot of different tools that are designed to do very specific things. ChatGPT is more of an create your own prompt tool. One of the cool things, though, worth mentioning about Copymatic and this AI, this generative AI in general, is it's always improving. So your Copymatic account, overnight, sometimes you'll have a new tool, like that image generator that just showed up. That's become a super popular tool. And you didn't have to pay any additional money for that. So I'm trying to keep up with, there's some questions in the chat as well. Do you plan on offering an API? We do have an API. You will have to request access to it for your account. But if you go into your account settings, you should be able to request API access. Let's see, what else do we have here? Why is Copymatic become a limited use only? I've been using it unlimited for a long time. It just has to do with fair use, and the unlimited plan was limited to about 2 million words. As far as like why exactly they changed it, it's just, that's business sometimes. I noticed the images suggested option. Let's say another Copymatic user is generating an article about artificial intelligence. Will the suggested images be the same? Luca, I am not sure. I think most likely, oftentimes, yes, but I have never jumped between 2 accounts to do that. So my guess is they are likely the same, but I am not 100% sure. We can use for research articles. I would imagine so. I don't know your criteria. I don't want to tell you 100% yes. It's always worth, certainly if you're using it for a research article, I would scrutinize the content pretty stringently as I went through it. But one of the biggest compliments that we get is on our accuracy and on the quality that we are providing. Are you guys partners with the Hoth? The Hoth is a sister company of ours underneath the same parent company. So sort of, I mean, there's no, we are trying to find ways that we can work together. I know a lot of people use Copymatic for SEO. The Hoth is an SEO and marketing services provider. But like I said, it is under the same parent company as Copymatic. So I think that's all the questions. Anyone else have any additional questions for me before we sign off here? Can Copymatic generate optimized article from existing content? Oh, no, not necessarily. You can't just paste in an existing article URL and say, hey, rewrite me this article. And one thing I would say, like, again, it's very important to be thoughtful about your subheadings and your article title. If you just go to a website and copy their article title and subheadings, chances are you're going to trigger a higher plagiarism score because you essentially copied their existing title and headings, and likely the content's also going to be fairly similar to that article. So the more that you are using, the more that you use thoughtful titles and subheadings, the better content you will get out of this. Ismail, I'm not sure. I will. I do it here. I just want this last slide here. Promo code's Webby50. This is my email address. Ismail, if you want to email that question to me, I would be happy to get you an answer. Unfortunately, I'm not 100% sure. It's just something I've never had to do or click around to do in my account. So I am not 1,000% sure. There is an affiliate program. So if anybody's interested in, driving traffic and earning some money, there is an affiliate program. So check that out. You can search Copymatic affiliate program. But yeah, I think that's all the questions that we've got. Thank you guys so much for sticking with me here. I tried to keep it to time here. We scheduled for 30 minutes and we're at 32, but we gave 2 minutes for people to try to show up. But anyways, thank you guys so much for showing up. If you want to get started, use the promo code Webby50 and that will save you 50% off your first month. And if you got any questions, feel free to shoot me an email. Thanks so much, everybody. Have a great day.